Hi guys, Dane here in the man cave. That's right. Look what the fuck happened to me. I got a nail in my tire. There's the fucker right there. The first thing I'm gonna do, my chain on the Mighty DR 650 is within specs. So I put a little dot on the little indent there on the chain adjuster fucking thingamajigger. Okay, so the first thing you need is a Mexican fit-all, and then that's out of my my impact set, and the main axle nut is 13/16 on the Mighty Suzuki DR 650. So 13/16 there. I'll use my my impact socket on the breaker bar as you just saw, and then I'll use my Mexican fit-all there. Fuck me, I got a fucking fly on it. Get off me, you fuck. Okay, so I broke it loose. I had to put a pretty good hurting on it, actually. I'm not sure what the torque specs are, but I bet you I was pulling 40 or 50 pounds or better. So you guys pay attention how this comes apart. And I'm just starting. The nut, there's a black washer, and the chain adjuster, wheel straightener, fucking Snitzenkruben. Okay, so you're gonna wanna pay attention to that. Either draw yourself a picture or, you know, put it in order or whatever. And that's probably gonna be the same over here whenever I get out, you know, the axle and the spacer and all that fucking other stuff. So pay attention so you don't fuck it up. Okay, there's the axle bolt, and just tapped it out. And, okay, sorry. There's the axle bolt. And then, so there's the brake assembly. Okay, so it's just kind of sitting there. And it doesn't look like I need to fuck with it much. Should just be able to sit there and be happy. Happy brakes. Yay, happy brakes. Okay guys, gotta tell you a little bit of a funny story. I'm out here working on the Mighty DR 650, and I thought I had to crack one off. Goddamn near shit my pants. Okay, so you got the rear tire off, and if you're as anal about the Mighty DR as I am, this is a good time to clean her up a little bit. I thought I saw a little speck of dust right there. Okay, got it. Okay, obviously there's a lot of satire in this shit, you guys, so bear with me. Oh, I put a towel down. I got the tire off, obviously, okay. I put a towel down, and I put it down on the brake side in the garage so I don't booger up the rotor, or the disc, if you will. This little spacer will come off, but I don't think you need to take it off, but it's, you know, you can take it off if you want to. And there's the guts or whatever, but you know, just be careful with it and pop it back in. But what I did want to show you guys was the sprocket that I wasn't really sure about. It'll pop free, okay? You can take it, you know, right off, and there's all of these rubber bushings in there, and I'm not gonna mic it or anything, but obviously those are torque dampeners of some sort. So I'm not going to put it back down. I'm not going to take it off if I don't have to, but if I do have to, or if you do have to, that's really all there is to those. And you can pop that sprocket, that assembly off, and those little rubber dampeners just come off real easy, and you can put them right back on. And if if the engineers have the brains that God gave geese, there's not like this only goes on one fucking way. I would imagine that all of them are the same size, and you know, once you put the little rubber torque dampeners, if you will, back in their correct location, I would imagine that sprocket and that hub assembly will go on in any rotation and not be a problem. But anyways, I just thought I would show you that because I haven't seen that on the web yet. Can you dig it? All right, guys, I'm sorry I'm so long-winded. I pulled the thing off. Okay. These torque dampeners, if you will, I want you to notice that there's a thinner side and a thicker side. Okay, so you know the torque is this way, okay, spinning to my left, if you will. So the thicker side is on the inside, so that's going to absorb more torque, if you will, than the thinner side. But if you were to pull these off, which, like I said, you can very easily, you can't kind of fuck this up, so to speak. They only go on one way. So see, that won't, that's wrong. You have to get it on with a thicker side to the torque side, and you can't put it on wrong. It only goes on one way. See how that slips like that? So if you were to take these off or whatever, you can't mess that up. All right, so just for what that's worth. Okay, after running around town for about 2 hours, I finally got my tube. There's a couple out there. One's a little cheaper. It's like $14.95, so 15 bucks. And this one was $22.95. But this is supposedly a much better tube, so I got that one. That's the stock rear tire size for the Mighty DR 650, 120 over 90-17 at the bottom there. That's the stock DR rear tire size. Oh, and I had to get a set of tire irons right there. There's several to choose from. I got all this stuff at Metro Motorsports, but these are small and you can pack them. And 10 bucks, 11 bucks. So I know there's a lot better ones out there, but it beats a couple of screwdrivers. Took the rear sprocket hub deal off and the little rubber thingies that I was showing you. Took all those off and put the sprocket side down with the hub removed, of course. So the brake disc is up, and so while I'm working on it, I didn't want to booger that up. So I've got the other side down on the towel, and I didn't want to gouge or bend or ding up that disc. So that's the way I'm approaching it. Okay guys, fuck me and the horse I rode in on. I had to use my big Gorilla crowbar there, the big blue bar, with my little buddy's help. With a combination of the crowbar, one of the spoons or the tire irons, and a wee bit of glass plus to get that initial bead to break on one part. Once it got broke, you can just shove it around. But I mean to tell you, those little tire irons that I bought, they ain't worth a fucking shit. So if you're out in the middle of nowhere, I'm riding her home on the rim. I can fucking tell you that right now. Okay, prepare to edit the shit out of this. Alright, so I'm going to use my little fag spoons and see if I can get the tire off the rim. I'll speed this up. But once you get it, you know, started, there's lots of videos out on tire irons and changing the tires. But once I get started and work myself around, I'll speed it up. So hopefully that fucking works. all you got to do is take half the tire off, one side, and then you can, I kind of got it started, and then you can just work the tube out. You don't need to take the whole tire off unless you're changing the whole fucking tire, and I'm just changing the tube. So, anyways, you can see, bear with me, what's going on there. And then theoretically, be able to take out my tube. This got a fucking hole in it. Okay, so there's the new tube. And what I do is I put just a little air in it, not a lot, a little, so it's generally in its approximate shape when I stuff inner tubes in the tires and stuff like that, versus the little flat floppy thing. I don't want it twisted. So anyways, that's what I do. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm kind of tucking it in as I go. And let me see if I can, sorry, zoom in a little bit. My valve stem is aligned with the hole that it goes into, and of course that's easy to adjust. You can just, at this point, you can just twist the rim anywhere you want to, but I get it pretty close. And then I'm tucking it in. I'm about 2/3 of the way around. And I'll finish tucking that in. Okay, with a little bit of fiddling, got my valve stem through the hole, kind of put the nut on there, as you can see. It's not super tight, but it's fairly tight. Then I'll get that tire put back on, and then make sure that that valve stem's, you know, radial and not crooked, sticking out funny. Oh, and there was Loctite on the original valve stem, so I'll put some Loctite on there after I get it where I want it. Okay, tires on. Took a bit of doing, but you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And got the valve stem through, and kind of wiggled the wheel and the tire a little bit to make sure it's perp to the rim and or radial to the center of the hub, not crooked, you know. Sorry. Okay, one way or the other, and then I'm going to kind of leave it like that, I think, while I put it back together, because I'm going to Loctite that nut, which was had Loctite on it on the original there, but I think I'll pop her back together. Torque dampeners only go on one way. Hub and sprocket back on. Rotation does not matter. A second set of hands really helps getting her back together at this point. Can you dig it? Okay, takes quite a bit of work with a couple of sets of hands to get everything back in, chain on, brake on, your little adjuster back where it was, blah blah blah. So I got it pretty much half-assed tight on there. I'll check the torque specs in a minute. I'm gonna air it up and let that reseat. Okay, so I want to retorque my rear axle nut, and just so you guys know, looking at the manual, okay, yippee-ki-yay, 7-24, I found it under the chain adjustment, and the rear axle, me and my fucked up hands, rear axle nut tightening torque, 110 Newton meters, or 79.5, 79 and a half, obviously, foot pounds. Do yourself a favor. Hit that that disc, that brake disc, with some brake cleaner. You do not want that disc to have any grease on it from your fingers. Just plan on knowing that when you're putting taking the tire off, doing all the stuff, and putting it back on and stuff, with these little fucking stupid brake fucking thingamajiggers, or tire irons, or whatever the goddamn hell they are, you're gonna booger up your rim a little bit. You won't do it too much, but you'll get a little mark here and there. So I got a little mark here and a little mark there, so obviously I'm gonna have to get new rims.